How does the New Testament interpret the rod of iron imagery? The rod of iron imagery from Psalm 2:9 carries significant meaning in the New Testament, often interpreted in the context of Jesus' authority, judgment, and the establishment of his kingdom. Here's how this imagery is understood. 1. Authority and rule. Revelation 2:27. In this passage, Jesus promises that those who overcome will rule the nations with a rod of iron. This emphasizes the authority granted to believers to share in Christ's kingship, reflecting his power over the nations. 2. Judgment. Revelation 19:15. This verse describes Jesus returning as a conquering king, stating, he will rule them with an iron scepter. Here, the rod of iron symbolizes his authority to judge and govern justly, indicating that his rule will be powerful and unyielding against rebellion and sin. 3. Divine justice. The imagery of the rod of iron conveys a sense of divine justice. See it above Psalm 110:6. Although not directly quoting Psalm 2, this psalm speaks of the Messiah executing judgment among the nations, reinforcing the theme of his authoritative rule.
Jesus' role as the righteous judge is central to the New Testament, highlighting that his authority includes executing justice on those who oppose him. 4. Fulfillment of prophecy. The New Testament often sees Jesus as the fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies. The rod of iron signifies the strength and unbreakable nature of his reign, contrasting the fragility of earthly powers. This fulfillment underscores Jesus as the long-awaited Messiah who establishes a kingdom that cannot be shaken. 5. Spiritual warfare. The imagery can also be interpreted in the context of spiritual warfare. People believers are called to preach the truth of the gospel against spiritual forces. The strength of the rod symbolizes the authority Christians have through Christ to stand firm against opposition and spread his message. Conclusion. The rod of iron imagery in Psalm 2 is richly interpreted in the New Testament as a symbol of Christ's authority, judgment, and the establishment of his kingdom. It reflects the dual aspects of his reign, the promise of justice for the oppressed and the judgment against those who oppose his will. This imagery reinforces the belief in Jesus as the ultimate ruler and judge, fulfilling the prophetic hopes of the Old Testament.